All right. Well, thanks for joining us for part two of Serge's explaining LibreOffice Calc for us. And today we wanted to cover
Okay, could you open
Hmm? One second.
the file that I sent you today, the last
Hmm.
one? Could you open it, please?
Yes, sir. Here it is.
Yes, that's the. So this is what we called in Calc a table or a small database or a list. Got a row with headers, and we have under the headers, we have all the rows with different type of information. Got strings in, for instance, last name and first name, and we have in salary currency. In the zip, we have numbers as text. In the age, we've got numbers and so on. So the first thing I will re-explain, because not everybody was there the last time, is what are we going to do with this small database. I explained in the last video the concept of filter. A filter is two things. The first thing is one or several criteria. And the second concept is when you apply the filter, you get a subset of all the rows we see here at the moment. And the concept with database functions, and as we will also see advanced filters, is to take advantage of that small database by defining criteria and then extracting only the rows or items which respect our criteria. So the first example I will give is a function that we can apply if we have, for instance, one criteria. So could you click outside anywhere, Eric, so that we can show a function?
Okay. On any of the cells or just in any of the blanks?
Yes. And there you choose the function. So you have to click a cell outside the database, and you need to click the icon just next to the sigma symbol.
Uh,
So the sigma is on the last row. I mean, in the menu, you've got 3 lines of icons. It is the third icon, and it will be next to where you can put a cell. Then you have the fx, and then you've got a sigma. You see that?
are you watching me on YouTube or are you watching me in Zoom?
I'm watching you in YouTube.
Then we're still going to have that 8-second delay. So I'd prefer if you would just watch me on Zoom if you can.
Yes, but in Zoom, I don't. When I click on video, I don't see. I see myself, but I don't see your screen. Zoom.
Okay. Let me change that then. You do. Can you see it now?
Okay, now I can see. This will be better. I can see both of us, and the file in question. So, you clicked outside the database. So could you click now on the fx, which is between the sigma and it is the third line of icons.
Oh, okay. Now I see where you're.
Just next to it, yes, that one. And there you can go and you can type sum if. You click on sum if, and there you can read, before answering anything, you can read what it will do. It asks you a range, then it asks you a criteria, and then it asks you a sum of range.
Okay.
So before we apply it, could you cancel it? Now you know where the fx is. We will define our criteria. For instance, we will try to see, you type in a cell, another cell, for instance, in C2, outside the table, outside, yes. You type, for instance, Chicago. Okay, now you type in D2 or D2, it doesn't matter. You go on FX. You type sum if. Yes. And then you click on next. So the first thing we need to give is the range. Could you put the window with the wizard outside the table, that I can see the table, that the people can, okay. What is the range? The range, as our criteria is Chicago, it is the location. So you have to take all the cells between the header location. So it is from L5 till the last item. So from Detroit to Atlanta.
I typed it in. Is it
then
easier?
You click in the criteria.
Mm-hmm.
In the criteria, you click on the cell C2. Yes. Okay. And for the sum range, you have to define where are we going to sum. Well, the sum range is all the cells in salary. Yes. All of them. All of them.
Yep. Let me just. I didn't drag all the way. I couldn't tell that it was. There we go.
Okay, and then you can click. You have all of them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Then you can click OK. This is not correct.
Okay, so we're saying L5, which were our locations, right, through L34. And then C2 is our criteria, and M5 through M34 was our sum range, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see anything in here that's incorrect?
But it is a sum if, so you can't have like a telephone number, so you need to have a sum.
Okay, did I do something incorrect? I'm not sure what the expected result was.
Check my side. Yes, I will try on my side, but this is very strange.
Okay.
So on my side, I have the correct answer. So there must be something. So there must be something which is incorrect in the formula. Because I have the exact number. So we will cancel. Could you delete everything and we will start again?
I think it's just the formatting. I think it's just the form. Hang on. Listen.
And we start again.
Stop. Listen. I think it's just the format, because if you look at the result, it says 458,000.
Yes. I'm listening. Maybe the formatting on your side, because on my side it's correct.
Okay, what I'm saying is in the function wizard.
That is correct.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that this format is probably incorrect.
Could you right click and could you right click on D2?
Yes, that's what I was saying. I think the
and format cells.
Yeah, see, the number is wrong for some reason. I don't know what this.
Could you click on currency, for instance?
Yes, there you go.
Okay. That is correct. Okay. Yes. So this is right. 458,000 is correct. So we will see if it is exactly so. Could you click into Detroit and click an ascending sort? No, you could click on A to Z.
Oh.
Okay, you have it. So now, could you click on the first one next to Chicago, which is $72,000, and click and shift click for the last one for Chicago, which is 34,000. Okay, and now you have in the taskbar of LibreOffice, you should have the sum. What does it say?
50,888.89. No, that's the average. I'm sorry. The sum says 458. Yes, that's correct. Sorry, I didn't see where it's so tiny on the bottom there. Yeah.
The sum.
You're still listening to me on YouTube, by the way.
Okay, so that's correct. You see, so we had.
I would mute YouTube if I were you, because it's confusing.
So we have the correct number. You see, you have a function. But if I click on YouTube and I can't hear you anymore. So
you can't hear me through Zoom?
I have to do it again. I'm sorry, Eric, but I can't hear you. If
That's okay.
I put the sound off on YouTube, I can't hear you through Zoom.
Okay, no worries. We'll make it work.
So I have to continue like this. So we showed the sum if. You see, we tried to see what is the sum if, for instance, we have one criteria. So we will show a second function. We will show the COUNTIF. Could you delete C2 and D2, please? Okay, could you put in the C2, could you put, for instance, accounting? And then you go to FX. And you choose, in English, it will be COUNTIF, if I remember correctly. COUNTIF. So what does it say? It says a range and a criteria. So for the range, click next, and we go into the department. So you take all the cells under the department header, and your criteria is C2. You click OK, and it gives you the number of rows which have accounting. And to see this, you click in any cell in the department column and click on the ascending sort, please. Yes, now choose all the accounting cells and see in the taskbar below the count. You have to right click on the taskbar and you can put another, you could count. And what does it give? 11. Okay, so this is the count if, and we saw the sum if, and we could do the same, but we won't do it now, the average if, which is on the same principles. But now, what happens if we have several criteria? Because this was relatively easy, one criteria, but if we have several of them. So could you delete C2 and D2, please? Okay, so in C2, for instance, we will put New York. And in D2, we will put, for instance, we will put IT. Okay, and now in any cell outside those two, you click on FX. And there you type some ifs with an S. So what does it tell you? Here it gives you the possibility to have several criteria. So the first parameter of this function is to give where is the column where we will sum. So you click on all the cells with salary. Yes. Then for the first range, as it was C2, we click on all the cells of the location for the range 1. For your criteria on the C2, then you click in range 2, and this will be all the cells under the department header. And then for the criteria number 2, yes, you scroll, and criteria 2, you type D2, or you click in D2, yes, and you click OK. And it gives you 8. Okay. Okay, and we will see if it's correct. Could you click in the cell, any cell under location, and click it into an ascending order? So, and now we go into New York, and if you sum the two cells for IT, you will see 53 and 36, which gives you 89, which is exactly what you have in your sum ifs.
Yeah, and that's what's showing in the sum at the bottom as well.
So we have shown, and we can do this with count ifs. Yes. So we have shown with one criteria, and we have shown it with several criteria, and we could do it with a count ifs and average ifs. We won't do this because we still have to show the pivot tables and the charts, but it is the same principle. So with several criteria, you give first the range where you will apply your function. Here sum, so you give a column where you can sum numbers. The second criteria is your first range. The third criteria, your first criteria. The fourth parameter is the second range, and the fifth parameter is the second criteria, and so on. You might have 2, 3, 4, 5 criteria. This is up to you. It will function as well be it 2 criteria or be it 10 criteria. Okay, so now we will show what is an advanced filter. An advanced filter, you have this table, one, and then we define criteria outside the table, and we take into consideration the headers. So, for instance, could you type, could you delete C2 and all the rest there? Yes, delete. And for instance, in O1, could you type department, for instance? In
I'm sorry.
O1.
O1.
Yes. And under department, under, in O2, you type dot asterisk CC dot and asterisk. Okay, now you click into the table, anywhere into the table. Okay, could you go to data and more filters and click advanced filter? Yes. So our criteria is you click in O1 and O2. You select O1 and O2. Yes. Then you click on, not on OK, you click on options to open option. There you have to tick regular expressions. And you click in copy the result to tick, no. Yes, and there you choose, for instance, 04. And you click OK. And now you can scroll horizontally, but not too quickly. And you see that we have, as the department, everything with accounting. So we could have the two C's. So we have something with regular expressions. So we can extract from the table all the rows or all the items which satisfy our criteria. And here it is a criteria based on a regular expression. Okay.
Sorry,
so
I thought I was.
Could you delete all that zone, not the criteria, but the zone of the results? Yes.
Okay.
Delete them. And could you go above and next to O1? Yes. In P1, could you type, for instance, location? And under location, you type New York. New York. Yes. Now you click into the table, anywhere into the table. And you go the same, data or filters, advanced filter. So all your criteria is O1 until P2. So you click on O1, shift P2. Then you open options, option. You click regular expressions and copy the result to, and you choose 04 for it. And as we can see, you can scroll horizontally to see that we have accounting in New York. So you see, we have all the rows with accounting in New York. So if you put the criteria on the same line, it is a logical AND. If you put the criteria on another line, then it is a logical OR.
Got it. Yeah, I can see that. It's interesting. I never really used filters much.
Here we have seen with one criteria and some
It's okay. Just keep going. It's too difficult to have.
And so we can have functions with one criteria, like sum if, count if, or average if. We have functions with several criteria, the sum ifs, the count ifs, and the average ifs, for instance. And we have seen here with the advanced filter that we can extract the rows or items from a table according to a range of criteria. Now we will show what we do with database function. So could you delete the result? And we will go outside of the table, and could you click on FX? Okay, and now in English, I have to see if it is ddSum or dsum, because in French it is bdsum, but it might have been translated into sum. We will see. Okay, it's dsum. Okay, could you click on dsum? So what does it say? It says here, I have to give three parameters. I have to give a database, then I have to give a database field, and then I have to give the search criteria. So could you click on next? So what is our database? Here you have to take the headers into consideration. So you click from B4 until M34, presumably. So what is database field? The database field can be defined in three different ways, and we will show them for different examples. Either you give the number of the column in which you will apply the sum, and in this case, it is salary. So you have to count from 1 to what is salary. So if I count correctly, so you put 12 because it is the 12th column. And in the search criteria, we will take one off. So we will take a P1, P2. Could you click on P1, select P1 and P2? And you click on OK. So what does it give?
I'm not sure. Error. Oh, sorry. Error 504.
So this is not.
Was I supposed to select the headers as the table, the row headers as well, or just the data?
Yes. You have to take the headers also, and some from B4
okay. That's
until
what I.
M.
Yeah, that was what would happen.
34.
Yeah, that's what happened.
You have that?
That's what happened. Now that's
so could you format the cell?
It's a currency. Yeah, there you go.
What do you have? Okay, we will see if it's correct, because I wanted to see if we have from the location New York, the sum is that. Could you? Yes.
Yes, it is.
Does it give 420,000?
It does. I know it's very tiny, but yes, it does say 420,000.
Okay, so this is the database function. So here we have defined how to use a database with a database function in Calc. I showed you with the number of the column. We will do it differently this time. So could you replace the .assoc by, for instance, IT? No, not dot, no dot. IT, only IT.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So now we click anywhere outside. So you could delete, for instance, 3. We can start there if you. So you click on FX. Yes. You click on eSum. Okay. Okay. Sum. So for your database is with the headers included. Your database field, in this case, we don't give a number, but we will give within quotes salary, within double quotes, double quotes, so double quotes, salary, double quotes. And the search criteria, well, you can take everything if you wish. So from O1 to P2.
Okay.
It gives 89,000. We will see if this is correct. So the IT in New York is, well, 89,000. So with the database functions, you see, you can have several criteria with an and or with an or. We can, for the database field where you have to search, you can give either a number, so the number of the column, or you can give the name of that column, I mean of the header within quotes, or you might have given the reference of the cell. The 3 are valid.
Excellent.
So this was an introduction to the database function. Now we will show how to use pivot tables. So, yes.
I didn't know if you just wanted to take a brief minute to look. I think there were a couple questions in chat. Mitchell had asked a question about does LibreOffice Calc change much operationally? If I learn it, will my skills be useless a few releases later?
Okay, I will just, yes, I will see. No, they won't be useless a few releases later. In fact, they will be better because you will grow up from what you have learned. They will add functions which don't exist at the moment.
I think, Mitchell, what I've seen is that they tend to be very consistent in how they release things, and there tends to be backward compatibility. So even if they add new features, the things that you already know will continue to be applicable in the future. And they may change the UI to make it easier to use as a feature, or they may add some new feature. But in most cases, from what I've experienced, there isn't a removal of things or such a dramatic change that if you learned this version, that 2 or 3 versions from now it's going to be obsolete. It's pretty consistent.
And also, it's possible to use 4 different programming languages to add functionalities which don't exist natively at the moment. For instance, you can use JavaScript, in Shell, Libre Basic, and Python. But this is not for an introduction course. This is for an advanced course, but it's possible.
Sure.
So, Eric, could you delete our criteria, not the table, but the criteria and the cell? Yes, that. And from O1 to P. So, the database functions is mainly to make some kind of calculation from a database, being in the sense of calc. Pivot tables is totally another concept. Pivot tables is to see quickly what I would say a sort of summary, a synthetic view of all the data which are in the table. And why is it called pivot table? Because it's very dynamic. You can change, and we will show this with this example. You can change very quickly the fields we are going to drag and drop into a layout, and we might have different kinds of views. How do we create a pivot table? You click anywhere into the table, And then you have to choose, let me see where it is. It is in probably insert, yes, insert. And you have a pivot table. So what does it say? You don't have the current selection, you don't have everything. So you need to choose all of with the headers itself. So could you cancel? I see it's not. And could you select all? Yes. Okay. And now you're going to insert pivot table. Current selection is good. No, don't click on OK. You have to. Okay, yes, sorry, my bad. In too quickly. You can click on OK. Okay, here you see that you have a layout. In the layout, you have 4 areas. On the right, you have the fields we are going to use. Then we have the page fields. The page field is used to filter the data which will appear in the pivot table. The row field is to choose a field or several fields which will be the headers of the different rows of your pivot table. The column fields, it is the same, but for columns. And in the data fields, you only put a field where you can add or count things, I mean. So in that field, you drag and drop salary. Yes. So in the row fields, for instance, we will put department. In the column field, we will put locations, for instance. And now we will click on OK. And could you double click between F and G? Okay, yes, so that we can see. So now we have here, we have, we see a summary of all the departments and the different locations. And we see a sum, for instance, we see for Atlanta, we see the sum of all salaries of the accounting department. Then the cell below, it is the sum of all salaries of the IT department in Atlanta, and so on. So we can have it in a specific location or for a specific department, and we have the sum for the rows, and we have the total sums for the columns, and we have the grand total, which is $1,469,000. So this is an example of having here a very simple pivot table. Now, if you would like to go further, what can we do? Could you click in a cell, like for instance, one of the amount, doesn't matter which one, yes, and could you right click and click edit layout? So here, for instance, could you now double click on sum of salary, double click on it, yes. And here, you see, you can change the function. You can choose sum, count, average, maximum, minimum, median, and so on. This is one possibility. But the other possibility is to, could you click on displayed value? No, double click, please. And and here, instead of normal, could you change it? And we will take it as a percentage of the total. You have something like percentage of the total? Yes. Click OK and click OK. And now you can see you have the percentage of, when you have the intersections of a location and a department, what is the weight of that intersection regarding the total, the grand total. And you see, for instance, that accounting in Atlanta is almost 6% of all the salaries for the grand total. This is one possibility. Could you right click again, please? Edit layout, and we will double click on sum. And we will change the display instead of a percentage of total. We will, for instance, take the percentage of the row. Click OK, click OK. And now we see another view. We see, for instance, the accounting department of Atlanta is worth 14.26% of all the salaries for all the accounting departments in the different locations. Yes, and you have to pay attention that you don't have to count all the percentage in the column Atlanta. It will not give you, of course, 27.5%. 27.5% is the percentage of all the salaries of all the departments in Atlanta regarding the grand total. So I have to pay attention when you choose percentage of row, and we will show it for percentage of column. So could you right click again, edit the layout, double click, and change from percentage of the column, yes. And in this case, you see that now in the column, at the end of the column, we'll have as a total 100%, which is normal. But this time, the total in the row will not be 100%, but it will give you the value of the percentage regarding the grand total. So you have to pay attention when you take a percentage of a row or percentage of a column, of the meaning of what you see in the end results. So, okay, what are we going to do now? We will still show another advantage of the pivot tables. Could you put, for instance, so click in any cell and click Edit Layout. So could you double click on some, put it on normal again. But you say OK, but don't click OK. And now we will put, for instance, in the page, we will click on maybe the state. You put the state, drag and drop state in the page field. Yes, and click OK. And now you see you have all the states. Could you click, yes, there on all and untick all and choose, for instance, 1 or 2 states and click OK. And here you see you have only, of course, the locations which exist in these 2 states, and you have it for all the departments. So it is a filter. It acts as a filter.
Excellent. Yeah, this is fantastic.
So any question in the chat that you see, Eric, regarding pivot tables?
I haven't seen any come up.
Okay, so either I can explain a little bit more on pivot tables, or I can go to charts. It's up to you.
Well, why don't we, excuse me, why don't we go ahead and go to charts so that we cover everything. And then if anyone has any questions, we can come back and dig in a little more, or just have time to cover those things.
Okay. Okay, so we could go into the first sheet, so one with the table. The first one. No, not the pivot table, is the first one. The data, where are all the data in the first sheet? Yes, that one. So if we want to do a chart with that kind of table, how do we do this? Well, for instance, we could show the salaries for a particular department. So could you select and the header and all the cells of department? Yes, it is one. And now you have to do control to select salary and all the, yes, that's it. And now we have to insert a diagram, I suppose, below. Yes, a diagram. In French, it is diagram. I don't know how they translate. Okay, so here we can choose, for instance, the first, which will be the accounting. Yes, we can take that one. So you can put finish, and we will change the layout of this. So could you put all the chart outside of the table so that we can see on the table and chart? Okay, you see at the moment we have redundant information because we have several times IT. So what are we going to do? We are going to first to filter the table, because as it is, we can't use it like that. You see, you have something which has no sense because you have on the X axis too many times the same information. So we will first put um, calculate what happens for the different departments and give it only that one. So you delete that chart. Yes. Okay, so we will put outside the table, we will put department. Yes, and next to department, you put salary. So in the department, we have under department, we have accounting. You have IT. Then you have menu management first. Then manufacturing. And then marketing. And then security. So to see the numbers we will put into the salary column, you click into the table, into accounting, for instance, you click in a cell in department and you click an ascending order. Okay, and now what you can do is you click on salary, the first one until the last one of accounting, and you can look at the number below in the taskbar if you can read it and put it regarding accounting in salary.
617,000.
Yes, we will format it later as a currency. So you do the same for IT and for the other one. Yes. Now you can select all the cells from, yes, no, not all the, sorry, only the cells from under salary. Under, yes, you format them as currency. Okay, so now we have data which are valid for a chart. So could you select all from departments until the last? Yes. insert diagram or chart, and you can click on finish. Okay, here you have a chart, but that chart has no title and so on. So this we will put it. So you have several icons. You see that once you select your chart, you have different icons in under the menu, and you have to choose the icon which will give the title. And you can put as a table, you can see comparisons of salaries or salaries. So the x-axis for the title will be department. And for the y-axis, you can put salary. And you click OK. So now you have a title. That title, if you wish, you can format it. Could you click on the title only? Right-click it and choose Format the title. And there you've got several tabs. In those tabs, you can choose, and I leave it up to you. You can give it transparency or not. You can define a border around the title. You can choose another font, another size for your font. You can put bold, pressing have it in bold. You can give an effect to your title. In bad shadow, there are different, instead of without, you can have different, and the alignment of time. But here it can stay horizontal. Matter, but it is here that you can format your title and give it some look and feel. This is for people who want to have a beautiful chart. They can format here the title. The same, could you click on salary in the legend, right click and choose format. And there, for instance, into area, we could give oh no, not in area. There's somewhere there is a background. No, that is no, it's not that one. Maybe in font or background. Yes, we could choose a color and so on, and we could change. This is where you can format the legend. So one thing which is annoying is we can't see very good the differences. And why is this? Because you have no salary, which is $0. So we will change it. Could you click on the y-axis and only on the y-axis and format the axis? And here, not in the positioning, it must be in. Oh yes, you untick automatic, and instead of putting 0, you put at least, I would say, 80,000. And in maximum, you untick automatic, and you put the maximum. You put 650,000. Yes, and you click OK. You see, now you will see the relative weight because we are closer to the exact values that we can see in the column salary of P. But what we don't see is the exact values. So could you click into inside the bar accounting, for instance, inside, and yes, and right click on this small blue. Yes, right click and what is it? Is it not format a data, but format insert data label, sorry. Yes. And to see it better, could you, for instance, extend the chart? So if you go still more, yes, here we see it better. You see, we have the values, which are called the labels, and these labels can be put outside as here. They can be put inside. They can be put at the bottom of the bar, at the top of the bar. This is a choice. And we can even change the color if you wish. You right-click, for instance, yes, and you right-click there, and there is probably a way to choose another color for the bar. Must be somewhere where you can format. Yes, you see there you have the color. You can change. You can choose another color if you wish, and or a gradient and so on. It's up to you. This is to give another color, and you can also do that if you wish to the background of the chart itself. Give a color, and this is all kinds of effects you give to your charts so that it has a good look and feel. But this is not, I think, the topic of today. Here it was an introduction charts. See how you can make a chart based on the data.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Could you right click again on the bar, and we will choose another type of right click, yes, and chart type. We will change the chart type. And here we will choose on the left pie. Yes, that one is good. Okay, so you see, yes, click OK. Now we have the different values. That is not very interesting for a pie. Could you right click on the labels, and you format the data labels, and instead of showing as a number, showing as a percentage. Yes, and click OK. And here you see you have the different percentage, and this gives you a better value. What is the weight of a particular department in the salaries? This is a pie chart. Okay, I will now give an example of a classical y equals fx. So could you, yes, you can delete that one if you wish, that chart. We will create another one. We will create. Could you add a new sheet, please, in that file? Click on the plus, add a new sheet. Yes. Here, I will show how you can get data. So in A1, could you click X? And in B, you click Y. We will change it later, just to give an example. So now, how do you create values? So we will click on FX. So in French, it was aléa en borne. So in English, it's the random between something random between. Yes. What does it give? I think it is correct. So you click next. Oh no, next. Yes, you click next. Okay, so here at the bottom we will say, for instance, 1, and at the top 50, and you click OK. So now you go in the cell where you have 5, yes, and you go to the bottom and you choose 20. No, not there, so not there. You go below, yes, click, and
you want to go down or? Okay, sorry. I
yes, you go
clicked this.
down. You choose when you have a plus, you click down and take 20 values, for instance. It doesn't matter how much, just to get values. Okay, now you do Control C. And here you have to paste them as, no. Go back to, so click, select all, and now you have to Control C. And you have to paste them as value, paste special value, the numbers. Click OK, and we will see if you have. Oh. Okay, yes. So, could you click in a cell in A7 to see if there is a formula of if there is only a number? So,
just a number.
Only a number. Okay, that's good. Now, in the column B, you click equals, and you click on A2, multiplied asterisk, multiplied by A2, and then plus 2. Yes, you go above, and you click down, or you can double click on the plus, and double click. We'll go. Yes. Okay. Now we can let it X and Y if you wish, or we can give a name, for instance. It doesn't matter really, but we will select all from A1 to B15. Yes. Insert chart. And here, the type of chart we have to select is, let me see what you have with X line first to see what you have. Scatter. Line is good, and you choose the second one with, yes, and you click on smooth. You have that? Smooth. Yes, and you can click on finish. Yes, okay. And here you see you have a typical a function representing the value of x, the second power plus 2. The only thing is, as we haven't sorted in an ascending order the values, you have, of course, a very strange function. So if you wish, we could sort the x values. Yes, you go to ascending order, and you extend the selection if it asks you. Yes. Okay. There you've got then redundancy, because we had with the random, we have 3 times the same. So the duplicates, we will delete them. So you can delete second and or the third and third. This is 1. Delete them. So it's delete shift distance up, and also for 34. 1 line, yes. And now you have a representation of a function which is more corresponding with what you would have in mathematics. So have on the x-axis is value of x, and on the y-axis you have value of y. So this is an example of a chart in the form of y is equal to a function of x. Very used in mathematics with different functions. So and you can do the same. So we can change the color of the line. We can put that. You right click on a point. You can insert the data labels if you wish to see clearly, and so on. This is typically what you can do to see insert data labels. Yes, you can choose color. You can choose also the line. You can choose how thick is. So you can um, a line which and the width of the line. You can decide. You see the width of the line. You can diminish it so that it's thinner or thicker. It's up to you. Choose what kind of line you want. Transparency line. If you, well, sorry, you've got plenty of possibilities. Show with a certain look and feel, that kind of chart. So the most used are the bars, either vertically or horizontally. So you've got a column bar or a bar graph. You have the pies, and lines or points are very often chosen. And another one which is sometimes chosen is the radar, but not very often that we use that type of chart, but it exists. You can see it in the chart type. You've got different kinds of the bubbles, the stock, and so on, but these are less common than the column, the bar, the pie, and the line and XY. These are the most popular ones which are chosen.
I really like how it's giving me the preview in the background. That's very handy. See as I select different ones how it's going to look.
Of course, here, for instance, yes, yes. Of course, with that type of X and Y, certain charts make no sense. As a chart with either X, Y, or the line, the best one for that kind of representation, but other charts almost no sense in this context. So you have to choose always the chart which fits the best data you have at your disposal.
Excellent. I honestly, I don't know why, but I just had a sense that LibreOffice
So
wasn't.
people would like to see more. We go back to
I didn't get the sense that it was this robust, and I don't know why. Maybe because I just never took the time to really look at it. But this is, you know, highly functional. I mean, it's and the UI is pretty easy to use, and I think I tried it so long ago that it was maybe a little rudimentary. And I really appreciate you taking the time to show me this, because in the future, when I need to do things like this, if I hadn't done this with you, I probably would have not considered LibreOffice. But having gone through this, I'm actually very impressed by what it can do. There's
yes,
also
and at this moment, of course, there are some functionalities which exist in Excel, and you don't have them in LibreOffice. But of course, we are at version 6. Don't forget that LibreOffice exists only since 2011, while Excel exists for more than 30 years. And of course, Microsoft, a lot of staff, plenty of money, pay the developers, while a LibreOffice small team, they don't have as much money. They give, of course, donations. They don't have as much money as Microsoft, but still, they made a very good tool. You can do already plenty of things with LibreOffice, and if you think it's not enough, then you can add functionality through the scripting languages I mentioned. So you can add either Python script or a JavaScript script or a Bean Shell script or LibreBasic script. Add the missing functionalities. But in the future, LibreOffice will give you functionalities Excel has now. So the gap will be closer and closer, but they have functionalities which Excel doesn't have. For instance, the support for regular expressions way better under LibreOffice than it is under Excel. So there are advantages and disadvantages. You have to see both sides, and you don't have to pay while you have to pay for Office suite of Microsoft.
And honestly, yeah, and you have to pay more for the desktop version because the online version of Excel, I don't think has many of these capabilities. I mean, it has certainly some of them, but I think only to a certain degree where if you want to do scripting, if you want to do some of the heavier lifting that Excel can do, you need the desktop version. And I know that's actually a more expensive tier of their licensing as well. Um, so yeah, this is great. I'm very impressed by what I've seen. And there was a question in chat from Mitchell about the advantages or
And if you want
disadvantages.
to have, sorry,
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll get to the question.
so, if you wish, for instance, to have all the advantages of VBA, Visual Basic for Applications, in this case VBA for Excel, if you were, then you can use LibreBasic. The syntax is not exactly the same, but plenty of things are common. And for where the syntax is completely different, you have to rewrite that part of VBA for Excel. You have to rewrite it for LibreBasic, and then you've got exactly the same. You have the equivalent of VBA for Excel into Calc, called LibreBasic for Calc.
Got it. So Mitchell had a question about the advantages or disadvantages of LibreOffice Calc compared to numeric SC Calligra sheets and stuff like that. Do you have experience with those other systems? My guess is that LibreOffice is probably a little more advanced than those, but I don't know.
I have no experience with the. Yes, I think so. I haven't used the other tools quite. Now I will dig into, software I just installed, so I have to study it and practice it. I have chosen Maxima, R, and Scilab, and I will see what you can do in these three tools. And probably you can do things in more advanced way for certain topics, but maybe not other topics. So I have to see what can give me Maxima, R, and Scilab.
Got it. Okay. Um, well, did anyone else in chat have any questions? And I don't know if Serge, if there's anything else you wanted to show us today or discuss. And if not, call it here. So I'll just give a few seconds for everyone in chat. And to everyone in chat, I apologize.
Oh, yes, I can show you if you wish how to add a custom sort, because in the first part, I showed you that you can use an ascending order, or a custom order.
Okay. Let's do that.
So we will open a new sheet, or you can delete. Okay, and here, for instance, you type. Yes, you can type, for instance, east, and below west, and south, and north. Now, suppose you would like to have it in the way you have north at the top, south at the bottom, east, of course, at the east, and west at the west. You don't have, because if you click, for instance, in column A, and you type the ascending order, for instance, you see you've got it in alphabetical order, which is not a clockwise order going from north to south to west. And we would like to have that. So how do we do this? You go to data and sort. And here go into options. And here you type custom order. But we don't have it. So we have to add, of course, that order. How do we do this? So you can cancel at the moment. We go into, I think it's tools, into options,
Mm.
not customize option. And there we have to see in LibreOffice Calc, yes, there, you see, we will add a new. So you click new, and the entries you give is,
Oh,
no direction. You type north, comma, east, south, comma, west. And you click on OK, or yes, no, not on, yes, add, okay. And you can click on apply and OK. And now if you go into data sort, you can click on the options and see in custom order if you have CS. You click OK, and you have it. This is a custom order, and you can define the custom order. I took it a very simple example, but you can do it for instance, all kinds of where you want a custom order. You do it this way. You have to define it yourself. Another way to have done that would have been if in somewhere else numbers, and you say, for instance, 1 is north, 2 is 3 south, 4 west, and then when you have a column with north, east, southwest, you replace it by numbers. You do an ascending order, and ascending order will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, and as 1 is north, 2 is east, 3 south, and 4 is west, you have exactly, without defining a custom order, you have it indirectly, because you have made what we call in mathematics bijection in the numbers, and in this case the geographical cardinal points. So this is the bonus I gave you, custom order.
I like it. Thank you. Okay. I didn't see any other questions in chat. Let me just scroll up just to make sure.
So, does anyone in the chat have some question? So now, Eric, you are able to play with lists, tables, and play with the database functions or the pivot tables or any kind of functions. Some ifs, count ifs, and so on. Oh, I mean, there are plenty. The perspective is great.
Well, what's funny is so for many years I was in a operational support role where I would support and do custom reporting, and I relied heavily on Excel and in particular pivot tables to be able to take disparate data sets and put them into a spreadsheet. It was probably more, I was asking more out of Excel than I probably should have, but I would do that. I would have the pivot tables and really pull all these things together, and then have outputs of table, there's the parts of the table I want, and then even graphs and charts and things along with that. So spreadsheets in general, I've spent a lot of time in, and of course that was Excel just because I was on the Windows world and corporate environment. And that's what I was saying about this. I'm surprised that it seems as capable as it is, because what I remember, and this could have been a long time ago, was that the pivot table functionality wasn't quite as robust as Excel. But having seen this and having you shown me this, absolutely now I would consider just this. This is probably the tool I would use to. So,
yeah. You use Access in the past or not?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So we had some custom registration system with barcodes, and it was an Access database backend. It was very fragile, and we had lots of problems with it. But for what it is, Access doesn't enable less technical people, I guess, to create a database, and so it's not that it's without use. What the problem I always saw with Access was that people were trying to use it beyond that scope, and they would try to build like a, a, a fundamental processor, some sort of like mission critical process on top of Access, and then if it blew up, you had problems. And so um, it's great for small tasks, in my opinion, but when you go beyond that, it gets a little dangerous.
So what I might do, if you are interested in that, yes, if you are interested in that topic, then in the future I might do a small series on base, the equivalent of Access under LibreOffice.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I like these. I think this is an important. So often you see this is one of those sticking points where people will say, "Well, no, we need Microsoft Office. We have to run Windows, we have to run Mac because we have to have Microsoft Office." And I'm wondering, beyond those like, very advanced capabilities or very special use cases, is that necessarily true? Has LibreOffice gotten to the point where it is functionally complete enough that there are very few use cases where you couldn't achieve what you're trying to do in LibreOffice? And I mean, I know we're scratching the surface on a lot of this, but from what I'm seeing, um, I have to believe that it's filling those needs. So yeah, if we wanted to cover base, if we want to look at other, I mean,
Yes, and for instance, LibreOffice base is respecting official SQL norm, while Access doesn't. So in that case, base is way superior to Access.
Mitchell asked about macros in chat being Turing complete, capable.
Yes. So macros are, you can do macros in Calc and do macros in base. I mean, so yes, I might do, if you're interested. In the third part, I might show macros in Calc.
All right. Well, I think this is a great point to wrap up. We covered a lot of ground between the last video and this one. And I think this really gives you a good overview of what's possible in terms of taking data, sorting it, filtering it, being able to pull out results. We saw the database features and also outputting charts and graphs. And so certainly, hopefully this was informational. It was to me. Like I said, these are things I'm familiar with in Excel, but wasn't in LibreOffice Calc. So I'm really glad I took the time to do this with Serge. Thank him for his time. And thank you guys for showing up and participating in chat. And to everyone else who's watching this later, if you have any comments or if you have requests, so if you'd like to see base, if you'd like to see other parts of LibreOffice, let us know. And Serge, any final thoughts?
Oh, so I'm free for you in the future to do and the macros in Calc, and then a mini series on base. Show how to use base in LibreOffice, and also then show how to use SQL, which might be good, for instance, want to databases through SQL, like with in the case of a LAMP stack, I have a Linux, Apache, MySQL, which is now MariaDB, and PHP. Then I could show you how to use those databases through SQL.
Okay, excellent. Well, like I said, I appreciate your time. I appreciate everybody else's time. Look for us to come back with some of these in the future. I half jokingly called them Serge Explains. We may come up with a better name for this, but I like these. I think they are a very useful thing to have out there and for folks to have as a reference point. So that, I wish everybody have a great day. Serge, go ahead.
So thanks to all the participants in the chat, and see you later.
Bye, everybody. All right, now you're not going to be able to hear me. See you later.
Okay, so now.
Can you hear me or no? Still not able to hear me. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Maybe when you.
No, I can hear you now.
Okay, probably when you unplug the mic, it changed your source.
Yes, it changed the sources for the speaker.
Yeah.
Yeti, which of course is not a speaker, my mic. Well, I think that it was rather good. We had.
Oh yeah. No, once we figured. No, I think it was great.
Yes, it was better than the first part. Yes.
Well, we don't want to set the bar that low. No, this is great. I really these are great. I people really respond well to them, and I think that I mean, even if for my own selfish reasons, I'm learning a lot. Like I said, I've used Excel for a long time, and I it must have been that I must have tried this before it was even LibreOffice. You know, when it was I don't even remember what it was at that point.
So what I intend to do in the future is creating a small macro, something very simple, just to show the introduction to macros, and then creating a sort of formula with buttons. And when you click on a button, something happens. And
Okay.
you launch a macro when you click on a particular button. I might show that. That might be interesting. Based on a table, for instance, you create a formula, you create different buttons. When you click on a button, something special happens because it launches a special macro. So I might show that.
Okay. Excellent.
That might be part 3, future, and base will come later. Base is the most difficult part for base is not using those queries and so on. It is explaining the tables and explaining the concept relations between tables. This is the most difficult part for understand.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, that sounds good. Okay. We will adjourn and then decide the schedule for the next thing.
Okay. Yes.
Serge, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.